This is pretty cool. Well, I'm going to tell you something that is new and exciting about the world of Roland Cloud. This week they released a new version of Zenbeats 2.0. And if you have Roland Cloud Ultimate, the 2.0 is free. It just included part of it. And the great thing about it is when you use it, it unlocks everything. You have access to all the banks of Zenbeats. You have access of all the features that are locked or not unlocked. What's new about Zenbeats 2? Even more stable. For me, is a big plus. I ran a lot of things in it. The limits I saw with the CPU 2 weeks ago when mixing, having a lot of 100% CPU, now seems to be gone. Of course, if I put more plugins in it, it gets to 100% at one point. But it seems that the headroom of CPU has been pushed further. That's a great plus for me because the songs that were to the limit now have some headrooms CPU-wise to run correctly. So that's a big plus. So I would call it optimization of the code. Yeah, well, good thing, always a good thing. But one of the coolest thing, in Zenbeats 2, you have a new synth called ZC1. ZC1 for Zen Core 1. Now, to talk about Zen Core, Zenology, if you want to know the whole story, go there and click on it to have the information about the differences and basically the explanation of what the Zen universe from Roland is. Let's chop it down very quickly. Zenology is a software in the computer part of Roland Cloud that is a plugin, but it runs a synthesis engine. The synthesis engine is the Zen Core that uses basically every synthesis that Roland has up to today almost in a package where they use advanced behavior modeling. It takes less CPU to emulate the whole reaction of a synthesizer instead of emulating all the parts of it. Technically, it takes less CPU to do cool sounds. Now, I don't even want to go into say, does it sound better or no, it has its own sound. And for the CPU it takes, it's amazing. It's really amazing. So what's cool about this is now Zen Core is the technology. Zenology uses this technology as a plugin software in Roland Cloud. So it runs into your favorite, Mac or PC DAW. But also Zen Core exists in hardware, like in the, where is it? In the MC-101, you have Zen Core technology. So we are basically running the same engine. I'll do another video about how to get from Zenology sound into this, which is you open up the sound of this. These are not samples. You can, of course, load samples into this one, but Zenology and Zen Core is a synthesis engine. So I'll do another video about that. But now, today, what I want to explain is that you can actually take the sound you have in Zenology. So you actually have Zenology sounds and presets in the iPad. You don't have the full capacity of creating your sounds from scratch. So the synthesis is rather limited, but enough to change it in real time. But you have access to a wealth of amazing sounds, and the exchange between the computer and the iPad becomes even easier because ZC1, Zen Core 1 Synth, exists in the two platforms, and the preset works. So basically, it's like having the Zen Core technology like you have in the MC-101, the Phantom, the MC-707, and other synthesizers. Well, basically now your iPad is also a Zen Core machine, if you want. Pretty awesome. Okay, you can just take presets and load it in. Let's just be clear about one thing. I did videos about the expansion models, the Jupiter 8, the GX8P, the SH101, and the Juno 106. These do not do not export into Zen Core because they're not normal Zen Core presets. They're expansion model. So I don't know if there's a expansion model loader that will be in it at one point. Right now, it doesn't. So it has to be Zenology. But then you say, well, Zenology is basically a list of all these sounds you can pick from. Yes, but again, another new thing with Roland this week is that you have Zenology Pro. It was expected. I'm going to have to do a whole video just about it because it is an entire synth. When you look at it and you know the history of Roland, it does basically JV 2080, 1080, XSV 5080. It's all part of it. It has some of the D50 structure. It has some of the JP 8000 structure. So it combines kind of all the synthesis that I saw in the last 20 years and 30 years in Roland arsenal of synthesizer into one massive, powerful synth that use 4 parts, partials, if you want. I'll do another video just about it, but what I'll show you I'll show you what it is. Come with me. Okay. I've got this pad that is, or this brass sound that is, actually, here you go. You've got a Zenology Pro patch. So this is pretty cool. I'll do another video just about it, but I mean, basically you can tweak your sound with the different partials, or just look at the oscillators, or just work the LFOs, and your sound is ready. Okay, what do? You go right, and you pick a sound. I'm gonna bank, I've got my bank is called Export Bank. I'm gonna select the sound I want to record, I want to save. So I click on 008, initial tone, write. Ask me now, it's ready to write, change the name. I can call it test. And I'm going to click again, write. Now it's recorded in my bank, my Nu-Trix bank. Okay, at sound number 8, Z Core Synth. Now, just so you see, if I go here, I'm going to close this window. If I go here and I go Jupiter and I take, I don't know, this one, I said perfect. That's the one I want. This one, if I save it, I can do the same thing, right, export, put it here, and go right. See, now this one here is called Jupiter 8 and a synth lead. Now, it means that if I export this, that patch will not be able to be seen in Z Core, ZC1, or the MC-101. Right now it doesn't work, so maybe one day. Right now it doesn't. So I'm gonna basically just erase that one because I don't want this to have a bug when I'm trying to loading it. I'm gonna go back to Z Core. I'm just gonna pick another one by random. This one, okay, perfect. This one I want to write it. I'm gonna write it to on top of Jupiter 8. Write Techno Lead 2 and write again. It's saved. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that bank, export the bank on the hard drive. So in that same window, there's export at the bottom. You click export, and you have a choice for plugin or for hardware. ZC1. Well, hardware. ZC1, well, it's going to be ZC1 in this case, and actually it means that that patch, that bank I'm exporting right now, I'm going to say for ZC1. Save this, and then I'm going to stop that beautiful riff. Stop that for now. I'm going to load, instead of Zenology, which was the one we were listening to, this one here, okay? We're going to change this one, change instrument to Zenbeats instead. Oh, that's it, ZC1. Open this one. And then what I'll do, instead of using the one that are part of it, I'm going to go in the 4 little, because you can actually just click here and just pick sounds. And they work, you know, they work well. You know, press play. You got sound effects, you've got sound. There's a lot of sounds here. It's a Zen Core Synth. So I'm gonna go into these four little, square at the corner, click on it, and there's advanced features, import. Now it's really hidden, so you have to know it's there. You click on import. I'm gonna go, I said the last one I just did is this one. And I'm gonna go open, and now I've got my list. My test is here, Techno Lead 2, and the synth itself is very simple. These are the sounds I selected. I've got a filter. You can have a slow attack, slow release, fast attack, long release, vibrato, mono, unison. You can play with it. Go back here. Okay, so this is now. Let's say I'm going to put a deep bass on this one. No, actually, there's always a deep bass. I'm going to put this one. Brass doesn't work. I don't know why. This one, because if I play the two, let's go back to the first. Let's stop this. I'm asking a lot on my computer. I'm having these two videos being recorded, the camera plus the computer screen. So it's just like, don't do this to me, please. But I will do this to you. You're my computer. So what you have now, you have this and this playing. These two are Zen Core technology. So they're basically Zenology in a package of presets. Now let's stop this. What I love about this is now I'm just going to save that song, save song as, I'm going to call it test export ZC1. I'm going to save that into Google Drive and save. So it goes into Google Drive, which is where I want it to be, because then I'm going to go into this one. I'm going to load that sound, that song. So let's just wait. And done. I go into this one. I want to go load. Open song. I want it to from the Google Drive. You see this? I'm going to test export ZC1, load this one, open, and you'll see this is beautiful. Loading test export ZC1. I've got this. You see here, you have ZC1 here and here. The other ones are Zenology is missing. So these will not play. But if you wanted to keep Zenology, I could just freeze the tracks in Zenbeats on my computer before sending there. And then they would be just freeze tracks of Zenology without being ZC1. Now, my request, Roland, please do that. If you're in Zenology on the computer and you click freeze, don't freeze it. Or add another feature that is convert to ZC1. Take the same preset, load ZC1, put it there, and save it there. And same thing, if you're in here, you work in ZC1, fine, and then you send it to your computer, you should be able to click on ZC1 and say, open in Zenology. And it just flips the, if you have it, because I know ZC1 is free if you have Zenbeats. That's a pretty cool thing. But there's an expansion. You can unlock all the multi-effects that are there also. But you can just have, it's part of it, and it's part of it. So now if I press play, I got the same sounds. Zenology, Zen Core on the iPad. This for me, I'm happy. It means I've got the sounds of Zenology, Zen Core sound into the iPad. What I don't have is the option of control to create your own sound like I'm used to. But it's not that bad. You know, at one point, there's two things that you do. You create sounds, you sound design, and then you create songs. And mostly when you're creating a song, you're into the structure of the song, not into sound design. So it's not that bad, you know? And the combination of the two is really cool. And I'm seeing this, like, there's so much they can push this further. But right now, Zenbeats 2, much more stable. For me, it's a great thing. I see that the optimization of the code is a big difference. It just goes quickly and more stable for me. It runs really well, the plugins. So I'm on iPad OS 14.01. And now the only problem I had was with Xeon, and has been fixed. So right now I'm happy with the stuff I run and the way I run it. It's pretty much actually better than before because Zenbeats has been updated to 2, much more stable. And now the ZC-1 Synth brings you Zen Core synthesis playback. And then you can also go in and in real time play with the envelope, the filter, and you can play with the effects because there's a lot of effects that are part of now ZC1. So that's it. For me, it's just a blast to see you can do this, and I'm really happy about this. I will do another video about how to export from there to the MC1 because it's a little bit tricky. And I'm going to do a complete guided tour of the Zenology Pro because this thing is just, now it's a real synthesizer. And the power you have in there, it just combines everything you know from Roland into one single box. It's just, I'm really surprised about what it does. So soon, that's going to be coming probably this week or next week. Be safe, make more music. Watch also when I do a live stream. I might do one this weekend. I'm going to drop a line about it 48 hours before I do it because I never decide that much in advance for that. That's it, guys. Be safe. Cheers.